Welcome back. You're watching Market Pulse. This is our special F&O segment. Let's take a look at how the markets are doing at this stage. Extremely muted is what you've seen after the strong short covering rally that we've seen over the past 3 or 4 sessions that took us to almost the 7850 level. We are seeing some bit of a consolidation and cooling off in today's session. 7800 is where we are stuck. Some bit of writing pressure coming in at that 7800 level where you're seeing that support. Certain gainers on the higher side. You've counters like an NTPC. It's a pretty much mixed composition as far as the gainers and losers are concerned. NTPC is the top gainer. Adani Ports is also seeing gains of almost 1.3%, and you have public sector Bank of Baroda up almost 1.1%. On the downside, basic materials have been taking a hit over the last few sessions. In consonance with that, you've got Ultratech, ACC, which are one of the top laggards in today's session as well. After that, you've got Bajaj Auto as well, owing to the kind of Argentine exposure on back of the peso devaluation that we've been seeing, some bit of a sentimental rub-off there. There's Vedanta. There's some negative news flow as far as their Goa mining and the possibility of its closure is concerned, as also a heavyweight like Infosys and Reliance Industries, which is keeping the Nifty under check and on the downside. Well, that's as far as the markets are concerned. If you talk about the options picture, you are looking at some bit of writing coming in at the 7800 and the 7900 call levels in today's session. Mind you, yesterday there was a strong short covering surge that we saw as far as the 77, 7800 and 7900 call goes. There was a severe shedding in terms of open interest in yesterday's session. In all these, the premium spiked up. Today you're seeing some bit of addition, so you are seeing writing coming in at the 7800, 7900 level. On the lower side, you have 7700 put as well as 7800 put that are seeing some bit of writing, and you are seeing some bit of support that has played out ever since the initial hours of trading at the 7800 level. Well, that's as far as the options picture is concerned. Joining me now is Gaurav Bissac, derivatives analyst, LKP Securities. Gaurav, we have seen pretty much a muted trade today, and it has been primarily a strong short covering rally that we saw in yesterday's session that buoyed us above 7850. What's your near-term outlook as far as the Nifty goes?
You know, the kind of momentum that we have gathered about 7007 levels, it seems that we may see some more upside. But if you ask me whether these are the good levels to go long, I would say no. 7850, the level from where we started seeing some amount of shorts getting built. So that would again act as a strong deterrent. We have seen Nifty again sliding from those levels. So I would wait and watch 7700 on the lower end, 7150 on the upper end. This is the range that I will be playing for Nifty. And at these levels, I think it is always better to write options. The VIX index is yet to see some more erosion, and the IVs also may see some more fall in coming days. So it would always be sensible rather than buying or selling Nifty. For now, just sell call options, out of the money call options, whether it is call and put combined. That would give you alpha for next 2 or 3 trading day sessions.
Right. Gaurav, as far as the December series goes, you were seeing the initial bit of writing happening at those higher levels of 8000 and 8100. Now you've seen that convincingly shift towards the lower side at around 78, 7900. What do you think is the range now for the December series, given that the event risk is out of the window now?
You know what, I feel we may see some pressure. We had at 8000 kind of level, 7950, 8000. As I said, for December series, probably for first week of Jan series as well, we might see some pressure coming in for the Nifty at 8000 kind of levels. Unless we see some Nifty move above 8050, I don't see the levels of, or rather foresee the levels of 8350. The range I mentioned about 7700 to 750, this is the range for Nifty till the advent of expiry week. For next week, I think this is going to be the range. Unless we have a breach of either of these data points, I don't think Nifty will give a very strong move on either side.
All right, Gaurav, just a reference to the visuals that are going on live on your screen. That's the Chief Economic Advisor that you can see on your screen right now. We'll talk about the mid-year economic review in a while from now, so we'll cut into that when that happens. Some bit of a possibility of some fiscal slippage or not, we'll make it clear when we listen to the Chief Economic Advisor in a while from now. Anyway, Gaurav, returning to you, as far as the greater call writing pressure that we have seen for the series, you've seen the put call ratio gravitate towards levels of 0.75, and even after the revival that we've seen to a little higher than 0.8, we are again seeing that move of greater call writing. Your view on that and the PCR going ahead?
You know, I have mentioned again and earlier, and I will mention again that PCR in isolation is a very misleading indicator, I would say, because it becomes very difficult to gauge whether the PCR movement, whether it is on account of writing or buying. It's very difficult to gauge. If I am seeing significant writing happening in call options at higher levels, so even if the PCR it reduces to lower levels, it doesn't mean that it will see a bounce. That's a crude way of saying. So if you have an amalgamation of 2 or 3 indicators and then you take a call based on that, that would be the right way. So I would not be commenting on whether how the PCR will move. What I will say is that whenever we have seen that there is a congestion kind of move happening in call option, meaning that you have 8,000 seeing good writing, 8,100 seeing good
Sorry
writing,
to interrupt you.
that initiates a sudden rise, a movement in the underlying. Now in this case it will be Nifty. So
we're a little short of time, Gaurav, sorry for that, but let's address our viewer query before we get to your strategies as far as that is concerned. And today's viewer query is from our viewer Iqbal Hassan. He wants to know whether it's a good time to use a short strangle given the kind of recent short covering rally that we've seen over the past 3 or 4 sessions.
Yes, it is beneficial to initiate selling a strangle. That is what I was talking about, that you sell out of money call put, that would make sense. But then it depends what strikes you are selling. If you are selling a 200 points strangle, there is little that you will make. If somebody is ready to take some risk and some additional risk, then I think selling a 7,800 straddle would make sense, just quoting at 150. So you have more chances of making a larger sum of money than by selling a strangle, because we are just approaching the end of the December series.
Alright, coming to your stock specific strategies, Gaurav, I understand you have a buy call on Arvind. That stock has seen some bit of traction in today's session as also yesterday. What's your call there? Take us through your details.
You know, the move so far, the 5% jump so far, or 7% from 300, that has only been led by short covering. Now we are seeing
at the table and sitting behind. I'm happy to present this mid-year economic analysis, which has just been tabled in Parliament. The presentation will have 3 sections. First, we'll do the review of both the macro and the economic growth. Then we'll look ahead a little bit.